There's a 21-year-old in Nashville, Tennessee by the name of Erin Brown, and she faces 30 years in prison because on one night she went out with her boyfriend. They both got drunk, and she decided to give the keys to her boyfriend. She knew that she was too drunk to drive, so she gave the keys to her boyfriend so he could drive. Well, he drove drunk, he got into an accident, and as a result, 2 people were killed in a car accident. So now prosecutors in Tennessee are saying that, Erin Brown, even though she wasn't behind the wheel, she should be prosecuted in the same way that her boyfriend is being prosecuted because she knowingly gave those keys to her boyfriend and he drove drunk. Now, Steve, since you were a district attorney, tell me what your thoughts are on this case.
Not guilty. Pound the gavel. Not guilty. You know what? I hate it. Hate it when prosecutors do this. Hate it. Look, when I was a prosecutor, it was only for a very short period of time. But I really felt that my job was to further the interests of justice, okay? Not to put people in jail for as long as possible, okay? That to me is lazy work, and because that's easier to do. Whoever comes in through the door, lock them away for as long as possible. It's much harder to listen to all sides, look at all the facts, and try to figure out what the right thing to do is. And if you're wrong, then it's on you. Right? The easiest thing to do is just throw the book at them. And it happens all the time where, let's say, I had this one case where a man and a woman got into a fight, husband and wife, and the husband pushed the woman like this, but he was holding a pen in his hand, just like this, and he punctured her arm with the pen tip. So he was charged with domestic violence, assault with a deadly weapon, and terrorist threats.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he's like, and he was like, what? And I was like, yes, you were charged with all of this stuff, and theoretically you can go away for 3 years. He's like, what? He's like some accountant guy, like he's no record. But that was in the wake of the O.J. Simpson trial, and we had a zero tolerance policy towards domestic violence. So I have to try every single case. I can't dismiss it, okay? I was like, come on, really? This is what we want to do? And that happens all the time. When you commit a crime, you get overcharged with like 18 different crimes. So theoretically, you have 150 years hanging over your head. So you're incentivized to just take the guilty plea for a lot less. I mean, do you want to risk going to jail for 37 years or just plead guilty to 5 years? Ugh. You just take the 5 years, right? And then that's how a lot of times people who are not guilty of what they're charged with just accept a deal, especially if you're poor, you're uneducated, you don't have access to the best legal services. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was just wondering. I was just wondering if there's some kind of monetary incentive to put everything on someone. Like, does an attorney have some kind of like, okay, I've got 25 cases where I put people on 18 different charges for life. Do you guys get a bigger raise, rather than just taking them, as you said you would like to have done?
No, here's how it works. So as a prosecutor, you overcharge them, right? So you charge them with 17 crimes for this one incident. And then it puts pressure on them to plead guilty. Right. They plead guilty, boom, you won, right? That's conviction rate. Your conviction rate goes higher and higher and higher. So, I mean, you don't get paid for every extra conviction. You don't get paid for every additional year in jail someone serves. But it makes you seem more successful. And now you can say to your constituents, if you're running for office, look how tough on crime I am. Yeah. I put these people away on an average of 17 years. This guy only put them away for an average of 4 years. Weak, strong, vote for me. And I can't stand that because that's not what prosecutors should be doing, okay? The defense, they play sometimes, not always, but sometimes they play fast and loose with the rules. They play dirty, and their objective is to get their client off. I get it, okay? But you know what? If we're gonna put someone in jail, take away their liberty, and we have the power of the state behind us, it is our duty to do whatever we can to make sure that we use our power justly and wisely. And I just can't stand the lazy, just knee-jerk, let's lock them up and throw away the keys mentality. And of course, not all prosecutors think this way. Many of them don't. Most of them are very, very good people. But there are, as in any profession, a bunch of douchebags who do this. And it's terrible because come on, this girl, 30 years because she didn't realize that her boyfriend was also too drunk. 30? Are you kidding me? I mean, that's not justice to me.